or things that you want to follow up, please feel free to contact us individually afterwards. So it's really an introduction. Screen, Molly, please, before you do that.
I needed it not on full screen in order to press record, but I can do now.
Okay. Right. Okay, I think we will probably start now, if that's okay with everyone. I can see that we've got quite a number of participants. Not quite everyone has joined yet, but by the when we get into the main things, I'm sure most people will be here. And anyway, people do know that we're recording this, and they can look at it at a later date. So first of all, welcome to this is our first joint partnership webinar. Where it's Evolve Home Energy Solutions working with Exeter Community Energy to present to you today. This programme shouldn't last any longer than, as I've already said, about 40 minutes. It depends how many questions you all ask. There's an opportunity to ask questions within the chat, so please do ask questions as we go along, and we'll try and get them in depending on how the time goes. Welcome everyone, and I hope you enjoy what we've got to say today. We will be recording this and stopping the recording at 1 or 2 points so that you can look at it in chunk-sized bites, so you don't have to look at everything if you just want to find out about what Exeter Community Energy are doing, or about the Green Home grants, or about how to find a quality installer, so you can look at each section individually. Anyway, perhaps, so the next slide. I'm Kay Welfare. I'm the Partnership Director at Evolve Home Energy Solutions. I also do some work with HES and the Centre for Sustainable Energy, where I'm a trustee. And I've been involved in energy efficiency for quite a long time now, over 20 odd years. And all I can say is things have changed considerably over that 20 years. The interest in energy efficiency, climate change and things has grown and changed considerably, so much so that now we've got people that understand things and really want to get on and do work to their homes and their properties, which is a fantastic situation to be in. Also on agenda today, we've got Tara from Exeter Community Energy, and she'll be talking about their projects, Healthy Homes for Wellbeing. And then my colleagues, Molly Wilcox, who's Marketing Coordinator at Evolve, will be giving us an introduction to the Green Homes grant. And we'll be finishing off with Steve, who will be talking about finding a quality installer. And Steve is Head of Surveying at Evolve Home Energy Solutions. So, like I say, this is the first time that we've done this, so please, bear with us. Just a little bit of background about Evolve. Evolve have been around for since 2015, but Gary Randall and Paul Simpson, who set up Evolve, have also been involved in energy efficiency, in particular working for various cavity wall and loft insulation companies for quite some time. So I've known Paul for about 20 years, and one of the reasons that I wanted to work with Evolve was because I know that they really put the customer first and are used to dealing with vulnerable people, and are very innovative in the way in which they do things, as well as being technical in what they do. So they, although they're a commercial company, they do have a really strong ethos about an approach as to how they deal with energy efficiency, and an understanding that we really do need to tackle all those people living in cold, damp homes, as well as look at reducing climate change. Next slide. So the approach that they take is one of quality, customer service and innovation, which can be quite unusual for installers to think that way, but it's really important that we do. So the things that Evolve are involved with include traditional cavity wall insulation, party wall insulation, cavity wall extraction and upgrading, and a loft insulation and heating measures. We also do underfloor insulation, and Steve will be talking a lot about this, about our accreditations and being a Trustmark installer. But the other thing about Evolve and how we work is that we like to work in partnership with community groups, local authorities and housing associations. So we do a lot of work with all those different organisations, and we do have a direct relationship with eco funding and other energy suppliers and companies, and are able to deliver the Green Homes grant. So at this stage, I'm going to hand you over to Tara, who is going to talk to you a little bit about what Exeter Community Energy are doing. What I will say is I understand there's quite a few people here from other other areas, maybe not in the Exeter area, but there are organisations like Tara's throughout the country. So if you live in a different location and you're not sure who your local community energy group might be, then do get in touch and we can possibly put you in touch with someone that will be doing similar projects to Tara's. Okay, Tara.
Thank you very much. So yes, thanks very much to Evolve for inviting us to take part today. For those of you who don't know who we are, Exeter Community Energy is a community benefit society, which means we're not for profit. And we're community owned. General members of the public actually own our company. And we're run by a team of 10 volunteer directors. In actual fact, I can see one of my fellow directors in the attendee list. So hello, Rory. We have 10 rooftop solar projects around in Exeter and surroundings. So we've installed those, and we use the profits from those projects to help fund other services. And one of those services is the Healthy Homes for Wellbeing project, which I'm just going to run through briefly with you to let you know what kind of services we offer to the general public around energy advice. So we work across 5 districts. So despite being called Exeter Community Energy, we do cover a wider area. We cover also Mid Devon, East Devon, Teignbridge and Torbay for our energy advice work. And as Kay said, there are other community energy groups working in those areas and other areas in Devon and Cornwall. And there are also some in other areas of the southwest. So if you do want to speak to somebody, either Kay or myself can definitely put you in touch with those. We currently have 6 home energy advisors working across those areas, and we give impartial advice that's absolutely free to domestic residents. And anybody can contact us for advice, although we do primarily try to work with those that are the most vulnerable in our society. So when we're talking about vulnerability, we're normally talking about health-related vulnerabilities or income-related vulnerabilities. So that's people on benefits or super low income that maybe can't afford to upgrade their homes in the way some of the rest of the country might be able to. And certainly those that are susceptible to living in cold, damp homes, if they've got health conditions that might be exacerbated by cold, damp surroundings. We definitely want to try and help those. We also have an in-house benefits advisor to help make sure people are claiming all the right benefits, and we're soon to be recruiting a debt advisor to complement our team. The way we deliver our service is via general advice, which is mostly by telephone, but we can also do home visits, and we have been doing home visits throughout the COVID pandemic. And we work in partnership with a national organisation called LEAP, which stands for Local Energy Advice Partnership. We're the partners in those 5 districts I mentioned, and there are other community-based partners in other areas across the southwest. We also run drop-in clinics when that's possible, and we hope to be able to get back to doing that sometime soon. Prior to COVID, we were doing 16 drop-in clinics around our region on a monthly basis, so 16 every month. And in place of those at the moment, we're running our own energy cafes on Zoom, which you can find details of on our website. We also do lots of talks and webinars. So we have our own programme of webinars covering some technical issues. We've done some recently on solar power and retrofitting ourselves, and we're soon to do some more, hopefully around air source heat pumps and possibly other more technical topics coming up in the near future. And the other thing we do is frontline worker training, because we're very conscious that the most vulnerable in society are often very isolated, and the best way for us to reach those people is to come in contact with those that are already helping them, like healthcare workers, GP surgeries, maybe some kind of support worker from another charity. So we do lots of networking around our region with all of those charities. And as I mentioned earlier, our service is free, completely free, and we are fairly reliant on funding to do this. So next slide, please. Just to give you an idea of the kinds of things we cover on this service to residents, is we look at all kinds of energy advice. So that's from general tips, just simple things like turning lights off and not overboiling the kettle, tariff checking and helping people to switch tariffs if they need the help. We make sure people are getting all the right discounts that they're entitled to on electric and water and council tax. And we help with lots and lots of problems that we encounter around incorrect billing or incorrect meter problems. We can give help around smart meters, and we also advise people about the funding that they can get for heating and insulation measures, which obviously is one of the main reasons we're running this webinar today. And then on the LEAP service, we can do some extra things. It's a much more detailed energy assessment, and we can help with some specific things like easy measures, which are, we give the vulnerable households new LED light bulbs, and we can fit draft proofing and other simple measures that might make an instant decrease in their energy consumption. And LEAP also runs some other schemes. They run one called ECOE, which is an emergency central heating program for broken gas boilers for homeowners. And HEART is a replacement scheme for kitchen appliances like fridges and freezers, because when people are on really super low incomes, if their fridge breaks, sometimes they just can't afford to buy a new one. So LEAP run a scheme for that kind of replacement. And then we do lots of add-on services like benefits check-in, debt help, crisis funds. We can arrange fire safety checks, hazard referrals, and health referrals where necessary. So we try to basically offer a full holistic energy advice service. And the reason we do that is quite a number of reasons. One is for the resident to save money. The second is to save carbon, which obviously helps all of us. And we help to create healthier homes and therefore healthier people, which has lots of knock-on effects for society in a greater extent. Next slide, please. So the kinds of things we help with around heating and insulation are looking to install first-time central heating for people if they haven't already got that. We can help with storage heater upgrades, boiler replacements. Many people are now looking to turn to air source heat pumps, so that's something we're getting more involved with as the months go by. And biomass boilers as well, which is on the next webinar that Evolve have organised. So if you're interested to know about biomass boilers and wood as a heat source, that's one to come along to for sure. And we also help people source the right funding and installers for all of their insulation needs. And we work with a number of installers, Evolve being one of them. Right across the Southwest, we have a number of people we work with. And what we aim to do is find the right funding, the right scheme, and the right installer for the residents. So it's very much a bespoke service. So obviously we're going to hear from Evolve shortly about the Green Home Grants, which is one of those funding routes at the moment. So that's us in a nutshell, what we do. Here are our contact details. Our website is eco.org.uk, and we have a free phone telephone number, and you can email us anytime. And we also have an online referral form on that website. The last thing I was just going to promote to you all, if you're able to share through your own networks, we have a winter warmth campaign running at the moment. Fuel poverty runs at more than 10% across the country, and in Devon it's 10.7%. And basically we run a campaign to raise funds to help those that are in less privileged situations. So maybe people that do need to have some repairs done to their homes and they can't afford to, or when it's crucially cold like it was a few weeks ago, we provide fuel vouchers for people to top up their prepayment meters when they've run out of money. So obviously, any donations to that's gratefully received. And all I'd ask you is, if you're able to, if you could share that on social media, if you have social media accounts, we would be really grateful for that. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll hand you back to Evolve.
Thank you very much, Tara. That was super. And as I say, there's and Tara said, there are other organisations throughout the country that do similar work to Tara. Can you stop the recording, Molly, and then we'll start it again? So.